The silver spoon was the kind of restaurant people came to for comfort as much as cuisine, its warm lighting and soft music wrapping diners in a sense of ease, yet all of that peace shattered whenever Arthur Kane pushed through its doors. A self-made millionaire who wore arrogance like a tailored suit, Arthur was known as much for his wealth as for the cruelty he unleashed on those around him. Every Friday night he demanded his seat at table 7, barking orders at waiters before he even sat down, snapping his fingers like they were trained dogs, and sending dishes back half-eaten with biting insults. One poor server had quit on the spot after Arthur sneered, "If you served food the way you lived your life, no wonder you're stuck waiting tables." The staff whispered about him in the kitchen, and even the head chef braced whenever he arrived, because his presence always turned a night of hospitality into a battlefield of nerves. The only reason management tolerated him was that his wallet was thick enough to make up for the chaos. His bills were always paid in full, his tips just high enough to silence complaints. On this particular Friday, the restaurant hummed with the usual chatter until Arthur appeared, striding in with his gold watch flashing beneath the chandeliers, his voice booming above the music as he demanded, "Where's my table? Don't keep me waiting." Seasoned servers avoided his gaze, pretending to be busy, praying he would not single them out. At the corner near the host stand, Clara, the newest waitress on the team, smoothed her apron nervously. It was only her third shift since completing training, and she had been warned about the man everyone secretly called the tyrant of table 7. Her manager leaned close, whispering, "Clara, don't worry about him tonight, let someone else handle it." But fate rarely listens to caution. Arthur's eyes swept the room, and with a smirk that seemed to dare her, he pointed directly at her. "You," he declared, his voice slicing through the restaurant. "The new girl. You'll serve me tonight." Clara felt the weight of every gaze in the room settle on her as her pulse quickened, the chatter around them falling into an uneasy hush. She hadn't planned on facing the restaurant's worst nightmares so soon, yet as she picked up her notepad and straightened her shoulders, she realized the storm of Arthur Kane had already chosen her as its target. Arthur Kane wasted no time in reminding everyone why he was feared. As soon as Clara approached his table, he ordered a glass of water with exactly 3 lemon slices, not 2, not 4, and when she returned, he took a dramatic sip only to spit it back into the glass with a loud scoff. "This tastes like bathwater. Are you trying to poison me?" he barked, his words carrying across the dining room like cracks of thunder. The other diners stiffened, some lowering their heads in sympathy, others watching in morbid curiosity, while Clara forced her hand not to tremble as she placed the pitcher back on his table. For the next 15 minutes he continued his performance, demanding his steak be cooked in a way that no kitchen could perfect, insulting the decor, and mocking the nervous busboy who passed by. Every insult echoed through the restaurant, yet instead of retreating, Clara felt something inside her grow steadier with each cruel remark. She had faced tougher trials in life than the tantrums of a wealthy man, nights of empty refrigerators, months of juggling bills, the burden of raising her younger brother after their parents passed. Compared to that, Arthur Kane was simply another obstacle to endure. But when he slammed his fork down so hard the table rattled and shouted, "Do you people hire incompetence for sport?" Clara knew enough was enough. She looked him directly in the eye, her voice calm yet strong, and said, "No. We hire hardworking people who deserve respect. If you cannot show basic decency, perhaps you should find somewhere else to dine." The restaurant froze in collective disbelief, forks suspended, glasses held midair, as though the very walls waited for Arthur's eruption. He blinked, his mouth opening to fire back, but nothing came, only an indignant, puffed-up silence. "Do you know who I am?" he finally roared, his tone wobbling between outrage and desperation. Clara didn't flinch. "Yes. You're a customer. And like every customer, you deserve good service. But respect goes both ways, or not at all." For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, applause began, soft at first, then growing, until the entire dining room was clapping. Arthur's face reddened as he stood abruptly, muttered something no one cared to hear, and stormed out into the night. Clara exhaled, her hands steady now, the weight of fear replaced by the quiet strength of victory. From that evening on, Table 7 no longer belonged to Arthur Kane, it belonged to the story of the waitress who stood her ground.